Good day children, Sai Ram and welcome back. This is our last lesson which we are going to revise. That is chapter number 9, Trade. We have already finished this lesson children. So now you should know what is trade. What is trade? Trade means what we are buying and selling. Okay, in common language we can say importing and exporting of goods. What is trade? When we buy various things, okay, when we are buying some various things, we create a demand for them. Okay, the producer supplies the goods to us to fulfill the demands. He sells them to the wholesale trader. Now those who are buying, they are called as consumers. Okay, and those who are selling, those are the producers. But it is not necessary that the producer is only going to sell the goods in the market. It is always the retailer, okay, or the wholesaler who sells the goods in the market. So buyers and seller buy and sell the goods respectively. This is only called as trade. So what is trade? Buyers and sellers buy and sell the goods. Okay, these are called as trade. Trade and its importance. Let's see why trade is so very important. Trade is an economic activity. The economic life of the people is interdependent. As we know, we cannot say that we are fully independent. Okay, we are always dependent on each other. Okay, and whom are we dependent upon? The people, those who are around us. Okay, so we can say we are interdependent. No region or a country, okay, in the world is self-sufficient. None of the country can say that we are fully self-sufficient. Okay, because no country or no region or no state or no village is self-sufficient. They are always dependent on each other. Trade that is there between two regions is necessary to fulfill the needs of the people. Each region produces specific commodities. Okay, each of the region is having its own importance, own trading policy. Okay, own we can say specific commodities for which it is famous for. Okay, if there is a paucity of a commodity, paucity means less. Okay, if there is a less of commodity, then there is a demand for that commodity. In a particular region, if the product is very much less, then what happens? The demand automatically arises for that commodity. The place where it is abundant provides a supply of the commodity. Okay, at times what happens? The place where the goods are very much in surplus, more. Okay, then that place will supply that commodity to the other place where it is very much lesser. Supply is done from regions producing excess commodities to region facing deficit according to the demand. This is only what I told just now. Okay, the regions which are having more commodities, more surplus, those regions will supply the commodities to the places where it is deficit. That means lesser. Examples: apples produced in Jammu and Kashmir are sent to other states in India, having a demand for it. Okay, as Jammu and Kashmir is having surplus of apples. Okay, so is only Jammu and Kashmir going to eat all the apples? No. Okay, it will also provide it, send it to the other states of India which are having a demand for it. Okay. Now, when there is a buying and selling of goods, when we are buying and selling of goods, it is called as visible trade. Okay, when we are going to the market, okay, we are giving the money and buying the goods. That is called as visible trade. But at times what happens? There is exchange of services. Okay, wherein no commodity comes into the middle. It is called as invisible trade. For example, a service given by a teacher, a service given by a doctor, okay, that is invisible trade, wherein the teacher or the doctor is not handling you with any of the product, okay, any of the finished goods. It is just giving you a service. So that is only called as invisible trade. So one is visible trade and one is invisible trade. Next thing what we are going to learn over here is, see here you can see the picture of visible trade and invisible trade. Next thing what we are going to learn is about the types of trade. Okay, there are two types of trade. One is on the basis of quantity of goods and the other one is on the basis of extent of the trade region. Okay, which are the two types of trade? The trade which is dependent on the basis of quantity of goods, how much goods are there. Okay, and the second one is on the basis of extent of trade region, up till where the trade is taking place. That is the second one. Now, on the basis of quantity of goods, it is again divided into two parts: wholesale trade and retail trade. While on the basis of extent of trade region, it is divided again into two parts: domestic trade and international trade. Now let us study in detail about this trade, that is on the basis of quantity of goods. First one is wholesale trade. Now what happens in a wholesale trade? The traders, they buy the commodities on a large scale directly from the producers. Okay, they don't take it in 1 kg or 2 kg like this. They take it in a bulk. Okay, then the commodities are also sold on a large scale only to the retail traders. This is only called as wholesale trading. Traders buy the commodities on a large scale directly from the producers and they sell the commodities to the retailers also in a bulk. That is only called as wholesale trading. Wholesale traders buy goods on a large scale from industrialists, farmers. Okay, for example, the orchard owners of mangoes or oranges sell the entire production to the wholesale traders. Okay, they don't give 1 kg of mangoes or 1 kg of oranges. They just sell out the full orchard only to the trader. Okay, to the wholesale trader. Next is retail trader. What is a retail trader? Here when the trader buy goods from the wholesale traders, okay, and when they are selling it directly to the consumers, here we can take the goods in 1 kg or 2 kg whatever and however we need. Okay, then it is known as retail trading. Here the quantity of good is sold is also less in this case. For example, the shopkeeper selling goods, vegetable vendors in markets. All these are the examples of retail trade. So this was wholesale trade and retail trade depending upon the quantity of goods. Next is according to the extent of a region, up till where the trade is taking place. The buying and selling of goods happen at various levels. Okay, trade can take place at local level, then a regional level, national level, and also international level. Okay, so according to the extent of a region, let's study about the domestic trade. Domestic trade is also called as internal trade. Okay, when the trade is taking place inside the boundaries of the country, that is in the same country. Okay, between two states maybe, between two villages maybe. Okay, that is only called as domestic trade or internal trade. Takes place between different regions within the same country. The size. Now, what are the things that matters in the domestic trade? The size of the country, the diversity in that country, the distribution and availability of natural resources. Okay, these are the various things which affect the internal trade within the country. Okay, which are the factors affecting the domestic trade in the country? Size of the country, diversity in the country, distribution and availability of natural resources. These are the things which affect the internal trade that is within the country. The next thing what is that is the size of population. How much population is there? Then transport and communication in that place, the standard of living of the people staying over there, the marketing system over there, all this also leads to a large scale internal trade. Okay, how does what are the factors which lead to a large scale internal trade? First of all, the size of the population, the transport and communication in that place, the standard of living of the people in that place, the marketing system in that place. All this also plays a very important role in the large scale internal trade. Factors like geographical condition and high population also affect the domestic trade. So these are the various things which affect the domestic trade. Okay, domestic trade can take on a large scale when the size of the population is bigger, transport and communication is good, standard of living of the people over there is good, the marketing is also very good. Then it can take on a large scale. Okay. A country's development is dependent on the extent of domestic trade. Okay, for a country to develop, it is very much necessary that a extent of the domestic trade is developed. Okay, if there is a good economic growth, then trade will also be more. If the economy of the country is very good, or the growth of the economy of the country is very good, then the trade will also be more in that country. Thus, there is a positive relationship between economic growth and trade. Okay, so when we say economy is good, that means trade is good. Economy is not good, that means trade is also not good in that country. International trade. Now, the word international itself, you all must be knowing what is international trade. When there is a trade between two countries, two or more countries, okay, then it is called as international trade. When there is a exchange of goods and services, okay, of one country with other countries or more than one countries, then it is known as international trade. For example, you all must be knowing Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, these are the places which are very much famous for crude oil. Okay, while wheat production is very much good in USA and Canada. So these are the products very much we can say specific products which are excess in these countries. Now these products are sent to other countries having demand for it. For example, take crude oil. Like petroleum and all is very much essential in all the countries. So it is not available in all the countries on an ample like Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is going to transport, or we can say is going to export their crude oil to the countries which are in need of it. Okay, in return, suppose they are exporting the crude oil to USA. Okay, and in return USA is giving them wheat. Okay, so this is only called as international trade. These products are sent to countries having demand for those goods and is called as international trade. When international trade takes place between two countries, it is called as bilateral trade. Okay, when two countries, just now I gave you the example of USA and Saudi Arabia, wherein Saudi Arabia is exporting crude oil to USA and USA is exporting wheat to Saudi Arabia. Okay, such type of trade is called as bilateral trade. When it is occurring between more than two countries, it is called as multilateral trade. Okay, when the trade is between more than two countries, then it is called as multilateral trade. So what is bilateral trade and multilateral trade? All have understood, I hope so. Export and import. Now this word export and import you all have been studying since your earlier classes. Okay, so by now you should know what is export and import. Export means sending of goods which we are having surplus to other countries, that is called as export. Okay, and buying of goods from other countries, or we can say taking of goods, or we can say buying of goods from other countries to our country, that is called as import. Now you know children, export and import is very much necessary for an economy. Okay, among this export and import, the main one is the export. A country should have more of export than of import. Okay, if a country is having more of export than of import, then that country will be developing very fast. But if the import is more than the export, then the country is only going to be developing country. Now, export and import are the basic processes of international trade. When a country buys goods and services which are scarce in their own country from another country, it is known as import. And when a country produces excess goods or services, then it sells this to other countries which have a demand for it. That is only called as export. Okay, so this is export and import definition. Balance of trade. Now, what is balance of trade? The difference that is there between import and export values of a specific country, that is called as balance of trade. Now, there are types of balance of trade. Let's revise that. There are three types of balance of trade. One is favorable balance of trade, one is unfavorable balance of trade, and the last one is balanced balance of trade. We can see in this picture over here, when the value of imports is more. Okay, in the first picture you can see the value of import is more. It is going down. That means it is more. When the value of import is more than the export, okay, then it is unfavorable balance of trade. Okay, a country should not have more of imports than export. Why? Because of the imports, what happened? We have to spend our monies. Okay, we have to give away our money from our country to other country. Okay, which is not at all a favorable balance of trade. So it is called as unfavorable balance of trade. While if you can see in the next picture, export is more than the import. See, the export beam is going down. Okay, while the import is up. This shows that the export is more than the import. Okay, and such type of trade is called as favorable balance of trade. Okay, it is very much good for a country whose export is more than a import. Okay, because of the export, what happens? We get more of foreign exchange to our country, which is very much good for the development of our country. Third one, you can see it in the third picture. It is balance of trade. Okay, in which you can see the beam over there, wherein the import and the export are on the same line, equal to each other. Okay, such type of balance of trade is called as balanced balance of trade. Okay, here no profit and here no loss. To get all is equal. Okay, so which one you think should be good for a country, for the development of a country? Okay, yes, the second one, that is a favorable balance of trade. Okay, children. Next is International Trade Organization. What is International Trade Organization? Okay, now these trade organizations are there which trade with other countries. Okay, they also need some security. Okay, at times what happened between two countries, there can be political issue. Okay, or between two countries there can be some other issues. Okay, at such times a proper international trade organization is necessary. Carrying out trade at an international level is a more complex process than domestic trade. Domestic trade is very much easier because it is within the country. Okay, but when we talk about carrying out trade at international level, it is more complex. Okay, it includes more of formalities to be completed when we talk about international trade. Trade takes between two or more nations. So, because of this, what happens? There are various factors which affect this, like the economy of the country, the government policies of that country and our country, okay, the markets of that countries, the laws, the judicial system, the currency of that country, the language of that country. All these are the things which influence the trade when we are trading at international level. Okay, the political relation between two countries also influences the trade between them, as I told you. Okay, if there is a trade between two countries and if there is a political issue also between these two countries, then there also arises a problem between the to trade with such a country. Okay, for all these reasons, different trade organizations are set up. Sometimes the obstacles in the way of trading affect the mutual relationship adversely. To avoid this, international economic and trade organizations came up. Okay, so various organizations they had come up over here. Now why? To smoothen and justify the process of trade. Then some international economic organizations were formed. Okay, this organization worked towards the facilitation and growth of international trade. Now, in the next part, we'll learn about the details of the organization, various organization according to the table given over here in your textbook. Okay, we'll do this in our next lecture. Till then, thank you children.